Business Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Elliot Brown here, Essex Business Radio. It's been a little while since you've all heard from me, and this is a fairly interesting podcast that I'm doing live between here in Essex and New York. So I'm just going to cross over to New York, where we are live with Michael Levy, James W. Phillips, and Karen Slater. I'll introduce the guys in a second. This is in collaboration with the Global Business Education Initiative. I got that right, guys? Yeah? No, yep, they can hear me. They can hear me. We are here. So I'm going to cross over to speak to Michael Levy, who is with LaSalle Institute. Very interesting guy. Got to know him very well. Thanks to James Phillips, actually, who we're going to speak to in a second as well. Hi, guys. How are you all doing over there in New York?
We're doing good. We're doing good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic.
Okay, we're all doing good.
Good.
Beautiful sunny day. Good conference. So we're doing great.
Perfect. And but just before we started recording, obviously you said it's 65 degrees over there, and it's rainy and miserable here in sunny Essex, or not so sunny Essex as it is today. So right, let's just start with the fact that James Phillips and I had contact through Instagram, and that's it sort of brought me and he introduced me because of the technology we have these days, and the world is a small place. To yourself, Michael Levy, Mike. Or can I call you Mike, or would you prefer Michael?
Oh, Mike is fine.
Mike, introduce me to Mike, and Mike and I have had a few chats over the last few weeks, and he's told me about the Global Business Education Initiative, which he's doing there at his school in Troy, isn't it, in New York, Mike?
Right, Troy, New York. It's one of the cities that's located in our capital district, with Albany being the capital of New York.
Perfect. And so come on then, Mike. I mean, firstly, very, very quickly, you weren't always a teacher. You were. Come on, tell us a little bit about yourself, very quickly, and then a little bit about what you've sort of created here with the Global Business Education Initiative.
Okay, well, just to talk a little bit about myself. College graduate from Salem College in Salem, West Virginia. Business degree. Yep. Was in the business world for 28 years, spent 8 years in fashion, where I worked my way up to an assistant buyer's position for women's designer shoes, but then realized there's no money in that, so I wanted to go where the money was, so I became a headhunter.
Right, as you do.
International headhunter I was an international headhunter for the reinsurance industry worldwide, so that's where I first got my first taste of doing business globally.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I've worked for major companies as well as having my own firm. And when I had my own firm, when 2001 showed up, 9/11, when the towers came down, I lost 30% of my business. So based on that, I had a little epiphany and realized it was time to do what I always wanted to do, which was teach.
Yes.
And got into teaching. 7 years ago, I was brought on board to LaSalle Institute to build a business program. And I didn't want a business program that was typical, like every other school out there that might have offered business courses. I wanted to do something that would be impactful, that would really inspire the young minds that I was teaching to want to pursue business as a career. So we developed a program where it now is bringing the classroom into the real world, where our students work on projects around the world for businesses, everything from logo design to developing full-scale marketing programs. And from doing this, we now work with over 60 companies in 13 countries. And fortunately, probably about 6 to 8 months ago, I became connected through LinkedIn with James Phillips, and this built us up to this point right here where we've had the Global Business Education Initiative.
Yep.
James was fortunate enough, or we were fortunate enough, that James referred a few businesses to us. Karen Slater from Inspire Me Travel.
Absolutely.
And Laura Schroeder and Leon March from Lajabu 7, and now Claire Sandham from the Jubilee Sailing Trust. And so we really appreciate what James has done for us. And I think with James and I working together on this GBEI, we'll be able to build a global movement that will change the way business is being taught at the high school level.
Absolutely, and something close to my heart. It's we want to change the. I mean, we use entrepreneur a lot. Maybe it gets overused. You and I have had this conversation, and we talk about it quite a lot these days. But it's the enterprise. It's that just the business mind and developing those so they've got to get a real world view and real experiences and practical experience, which I know that we are really interested in giving to students and people learning to be business people and the future generation of entrepreneurs.
Oh, definitely. And why should we wait till somebody leaves university to inspire them? When we can do this, where we can do this now and get people moving and getting them in the right direction.
Absolutely. Definitely. Look, I love what you're doing there, and I mean James bringing what he's brought to the table. But you've got people from all over that are there with you today over there in New York, haven't you? For your GBEI day, if I can call it that. So what have you been up to this morning then, Mike? What have you been up to today so far?
Well, besides being in a panic mode most of the day, I would say we had a good panel discussion going. Each business leader talked a little bit about themselves and business, and then we had a good question and answer series, and then a lot of group work that was done right afterwards, where the kids got a chance to really meet with our business leaders and talk about what inspired them in business and LaSalle and really get to know them, because I think getting to know them is a better way of really building business relationships.
Oh, for sure. And can we have a quick chat with James? Is that okay? And find out a little bit about James?
I'm going to hand the phone over to James right now.
Okay, perfect. Great stuff. We'll come back to you in a little while.
Hello,
hi
James calling from the USA.
How you doing, James? You arrived there on Friday, was that right? Hello. You arrived there on Friday, is that right?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Can you? So you got there Friday or Saturday? When did you arrive, James?
We got into New York City on Friday, and we spent a couple of days doing all the touristy things, and now we're at Albany, which is around three hours on the train.
Oh, okay. So it's not too close to New York. Then, have you been to New York before?
I have, yes, yeah, about 15 years ago now. But it's nice to come back, and it's even better to sort of venture into America properly and to meet some. Proper Americans, really, not just tourists.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that you're really keen with things that you're doing, and I'm sure we're going to have do a podcast and have a chat when you get back to the UK as well. I definitely want to get to know you a little bit better. But talk me through the JWP group and what you do, James. I mean, you're an Essex boy as well, aren't you?
I am indeed, yes. I'm the 92nd most influential person in Essex.
You are. Congratulations. Give you a little round of applause for that. Yeah, congratulations. Well done. You are. But no, you've got the academy and things. But yeah, tell us about the JWP group and then also tell us about the new addition to what's going on. I think it's very exciting, which I've seen on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I mean, I helped manage 4 companies plus my own marketing and PR agency. I've got my charitable foundation, and I've grouped it all together under a group name. And I'm running a supercar brokerage now too, which all happened just last week.
Yeah, so, congratulations, yes. Well done on that. I saw that on LinkedIn. I haven't had a chance to have a chat with you about that, but definitely want to be finding out more about that and having a look at some of these cars at some stage. But that's quite an exciting thing to add to the table. You're a bit of a car man anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, you're just breaking up a little bit, but okay. I can just about hear you. But yeah, I've had about 4 or 5 different supercars over the years, and now I'm helping to sell them to other people. Yeah.
Good, excellent stuff.
But that's purely because I'm involved in the whole luxury space, and I get to meet high net worth individuals and sometimes famous people who are just looking for a nice car. So that's something I can connect people with.
So am I right in saying you've got a concierge service as well? Is that correct?
Yeah, I help to run a concierge on the French Riviera.
Yeah, very nice, very very nice. Well, I'm going to be tapping up when I need some of those services, and anybody that else
Yeah,
that we know.
I'll set you up with a yacht.
Yeah, if you could do that would be superb. So tell me what you're doing over there, James, with the GBEI Global Business Education Initiative. Tell me what you're doing with those guys and what you've maybe spoken about today.
Yeah, I mean, Mike approached me last year, and he wanted to bring as he said before, bring the business world into the classroom. And I think it's an amazing idea, because when you're a teenage boy, or in this case, boys, it's all boys' school, but when you're a teenager, you're not interested in work. All you're interested in is probably going to sleep and playing computer games. But you need to start thinking about what you're going to do when you leave school, and to listen to people like myself who are actually creating business and working in it every day. It's there we're here to motivate and inspire, really, and just set the seeds at an early age to hopefully get them to think about what they're going to do in later life.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's called the Global Business Education Initiative for a reason, because although you're in New York, this is, I know that Mike's vision of this is and his want is to bring this or take this to to the rest of the world, so it becomes a thing that all schools or colleges and the education system starts to do. And I do strongly believe that we do need a practical way of teaching our students, our future enterprise students, and business minds of the future, because as you said, you learn things at school, but how do you apply that to the business? Where is the importance in some of those subjects? And this is where I think there's such a focus on maths and English, but we all know, and I'm sure people just like I do, that actually a lot of entrepreneurs have massive weaknesses in both of those areas, or one or other of those areas. That doesn't actually stop the creative mind being a business person. Often misjudged, I do find. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I never pass maths. It makes my head hurt.
I'm genuinely, me too. Yeah. I'm pleased to hear that, actually. Yeah, no, for sure.
You really need maths. You really need maths if you want to be an accountant or something like that. Learning algebra is a complete waste of time.
Sure.
And you're better off listening to people like myself who can set a business up without having to go through degrees in philosophy and learning about maths.
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree with you, and it's definitely a conversation that we're going to continue when you get back to the UK at some stage, for sure. Well, listen, I wish you all the best with what you're doing there. I know you're only halfway through the day. Here we're recording this at it's now 20 to 6 in the evening UK time. What time is it there again? Just remind me. Is it 1 o'clock in the afternoon? 20 to 2.
It's 20 to 2.
20 to 2.
We're in the main sports hall of the LaSalle Institute. All the boys are here in their cadet military uniforms, blazoned with medals. It's quite an amazing thing to be a part of, and it's great to connect back to Essex.
Yeah, absolutely. You've sent me a couple of pictures. We'll be posting those up as well. We'll be putting this live over the next couple of days, so people will be able to hear this, and I'm sure you'll be able to share this, and we'll get this out there to as many people. And I know I've spoken to Mike about this, but we want to be following up. And keeping in close contact with what's going on, so that we can try and help to spread the word over this part of the world as well. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've helped to bring 2 or 3 European companies, one from Germany, one from Essex, Inspire Me Travel.
Yes.
Over here, they've flown over here especially for the event, and we're looking for new companies as well who can be potentially part of this.
Absolutely. Hello.
Yeah.
Well, no, I nearly lost you there. Yeah. No, that's definitely, and we'll be pushing for that as well. So let's get our heads together on that one and see how we can sort of get the word out there, locally, because we're obviously here, but globally as well. This is the joy of technology means that this isn't it's not just a radio station. It's local. This is an online thing, so we can go everywhere. Great stuff. Well, let's have a quick chat with Karen, if that's okay with you, and I'd like to speak to Karen.
Okay, great to speak to you.
Yeah,
thanks. I'll hand you over to Karen.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, James. Appreciate it.
Hi, Elliot.
Hi, Karen. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. It's been an absolutely phenomenal experience. It really has. So, yeah, I only wish we had this kind of thing in the UK, to be honest.
Well, I think this is something that we want to definitely look at, and I spoke to Mike about this, and I actually had some involvement with Barking and Dagenham College, trying to put together trying to put forward a course for those guys. I'll tell you all about that. It's another story. I'll tell you about that when you're back in the UK. We'll get our heads together because it's something that I've really. This is when James told me about this, and I spoke to him. It sparked an interest in me because I think that there's a lot we need to do with the future generation. I think we have a bit of a lost generation at the moment, particularly here in the UK. In America, I don't know so much, but anyway, I mean, we'll come back to that on maybe another podcast. Maybe Karen maybe come in and we'll do something. But so you're Karen Slater from Inspire Me Travel. You're based here in Essex as well, I believe.
Stansted, Stansted Airport. Stansted. My office.
Okay, perfect. And how long has Inspire Me Travel been going, Karen?
Literally a year.
Ooh.
A year next week.
Oh, perfect. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. You thought about that, actually. You're right. Yeah. Thank you.
Happy first. And how has the first year been?
It's been a huge learning curve, and the company really has evolved from doing kind of general holidays to now to becoming experiential. So, and realizing that the way to market it would be experiences under certain categories rather than market it through destinations.
Yeah.
So what we actually offer are experiences, and we try and make them as unique and innovative as possible within Europe and the Mediterranean, but based under categories such as wine, jazz, opera, culture, historical sightseeing, and art.
Now that's quite an interesting niche. Now I know a few people in your industry, but not that are niche themselves like that. So I it's an overword niche, let's face it. But we you know what I mean. I think that's a very interesting area for what you're doing. Congratulations on getting towards the end of your first year. On and up then from here. I'm looking forward to following what you're doing as well.
Yeah, it's really exciting actually, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And what we did with this with LaSalle is we set a project for the students here, to create some innovative experiences in the US, and they've come up with some fantastic ideas, really unusual, and that fits in with the portfolio and the USB of Inspire Me Travel. So we've now put them on the new website, which is about to go live next week.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, we'll maybe have a little announcement about that on one of our shows, maybe over the next week or so. Yeah, definitely. We'll have a chat about that after when you get back. But yeah. So what have you talked about today, Karen, with the sort of students that are there? What have you sort of gone over so far? A bit of your experience, and I mean, we'll find out more about that another time. But
what we talked about today was about following your dream and passion, really.
Yeah, perfect.
And, then, and being an entrepreneur, and how you go about it, and what you need in order to become successful.
Yeah.
And once you've actually found your product, the biggest part of the conversation was how you get it out to market.
Of course.
So there was a lot of that, and there was a lot of conversation about how you actually start, and where do you start from. A lot of the questions were, well, you've got your product, so where do you go from there? Where do you move if you've not got any money, for example, or an investment?
Yeah.
So we talked about how, like for me, for example, I got some of my friends to go on some of my trips first of all, and then we started promoting it from there, and then it just grew. So we talked a lot about social media, of course, as well, but not just that. But the guys have asked fantastic questions, are really engaged, and are very logical questions, and which sparked lots and lots of great conversations. So it's been a real honour. It really has.
Perfect. And what I find is, and I have done did do a couple of sessions with the college. So is that the questions you get actually are far more sensible than fully grown adults that have been in business for maybe 20 years sometimes, because they've got no preconceived ideas. They are asking from a real inquisitive side rather than a preconceived idea of something. And I think that's quite refreshing, in fact.
so refreshing. Really, really was. Yeah, really took me by surprise. I thought, it was there. For people that haven't actually stepped out into the big wide world yet, they're so in tune with it all.
Yes.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Well, listen, I mean, there's encyclopedias all around us. There's a encyclopedia on your phone, and if you want to use it and you're interested in something, you can find out virtually anything you want to. Then you've just got to find, as you said, maybe the right use of social media, and it's probably easier today than ever to set a business up, but it also makes it more difficult because it means you've got more competition. So there's a lot of elements that I'm sure you've covered, and definitely be interested to have a chat about how you've done that in your first year, and I've got some experiences as well, good and bad, trust me.
Oh no, that'd be great, Elliot. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Okay, so you're there for the rest of the day, and then when do you come back to the UK?
We take the 3-hour train journey back to New York City tomorrow, which is a beautiful journey. Scenery is phenomenal, and then we fly back 7:30 tomorrow night.
Okay. So a short visit, but well worth it by the sounds of it. Well worth it.
Oh, definitely. So, and we had another meeting because I'm launching Inspire Me Travel in the States on another area as well.
Very
so
good.
we had that
Perfect.
meeting on Friday. So that's so we've done the new website in dollar and sterling now. So.
Great.
So it's really exciting times, actually.
Great stuff. Oh, good. I'm really pleased here. I mean, I'm excited for you. I'm genuinely excited for you. That's superb.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, good. Well, look, have a good rest of your trip there. If you could pass me back to Michael, then maybe we'll have a chat with some other people that are there while we're on to you guys.
Well, we've actually got Jake. Sorry, I've got Jake sitting next to me.
Okay.
Who's a senior student. Would you like to speak to Jake?
Yeah, please. Yeah, please too. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, let's pass from to Jake. Let's do it.
Jake Martino.
Okay.
And here he is. Nice to speak to you, Elliot.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and you.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Elliot. This is Jake.
Hi, Jake. It's Jake Martino, is it?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Jake. How are you doing? How have you found today?
I'm doing good. It's also a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. So tell me, Jake, what are you studying? And first of all, what are you studying? I take it. Are you from New York? Are you a local boy?
So I'm from about a half hour south of Troy.
Okay.
I commute to school every day. Okay. So right now I'm a senior. I'm going to graduate in May.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking, Jake?
I'm 17.
Okay, cool. And
so I'm in the advanced marketing class, which is the highest class in the business program at LaSalle.
So that sounds very important. You've laid down the gauntlet there. and I'm assuming you're enjoying what you're doing there.
Oh, absolutely. This is just an incredible opportunity that this was kind of something that we had talked about doing in the beginning of the year, and my marketing group really took the task of putting everything together, making all the logos.
Oh, perfect. Well done.
Doing the media guides, and really making sure today went very smoothly. We were here all weekend, making sure that the gym was set up, and everything was just going to go according to plan. So my group played a big part in making this weekend happen.
So excellent stuff. And how big's your sort of group? How many of you have been working on doing these things?
So there's 2 other guys in the group, and they helped out a lot. My one friend did all of the sound and the lighting.
Okay, perfect.
And my other friend did the all the chair setup and the layout design. So it was a really good process.
Oh, good. And what have you taken from today so far? I mean, you're only sort of halfway through the day, but what have you taken so far as what's the thing that stands out so far for the day?
One thing I've taken away is that there's just absolutely so many different perspectives on business itself. I mean, we had 9 panelists today, and I took something from every single person.
Very good.
Every single person has something different to offer, and the panelists we had today just represented the type of companies we work with at LaSalle and like what exactly we're about, and it was just an incredible opportunity to have everybody here.
Yeah.
And it's so, I was sitting there when they were doing the panel discussion, and I just kind of thought to myself, like, this is just so much to take in. It's a lot to process.
I mean, I think sometimes what you've got to do is you've got to, as you said, you've taken a little bit from everybody. There can be a mistake sometimes in overwhelm and trying to take everything in. And the fact of the matter is, you can't always take everything in, but what you can do is you can take the pieces that are relevant to you and what you want to do and your vision and your dreams and your goals and your aspirations, and sort of then take those little snippets and put them in. What you'll find is later on that other things that you picked up from today that have gone into that sponge, so to speak, that are sort of there, you'll pull those out when you need them. And I call it sponge because I think, I call myself a sponge. I'm constantly soaking up information all the time, and that's what you've got to do. Do you think that's probably a good way to put it?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so important because, you can't really like put a key on like one person. Like it was so much information, and everything that was like being said was not only for like the guys in like the senior class, but for the guys in like the freshman, sophomore classes that are coming up in the business program. Like it's just so important for them to hear these things, and especially to have this event. I mean, it's just nothing like this program's ever done before. And it's like the first time we've ever had it. So to really set the tone for especially freshman, sophomore classes, to get like more guys to join classes and just be a part of like this big picture that we're doing. And I think today really just showed like, what we're made of and what we can do.
Absolutely. I mean, I think from what I know is going on there, and I sort of had a little view into what's happening. It's exciting. It makes business feel real to people, as you said, the freshmen, the people that are coming in, the new guys. Having a look at this, hearing about this from real world entrepreneurs, people that have got a real experience, have had difficulties, have been through the mill, been through the roller coaster of what is, sort of building businesses and running them and taking things and ideas and turning them into reality. That's good, because otherwise it's just on paper, isn't it?
It's just theory. I mean, like,
absolutely.
I mean, anybody can read a textbook. It's more of, as applying it into like actually something you're going to do. I think that's an issue with a lot of high schoolers deciding on whether they want to go to college or not, is because so many kids, they just don't want to spend the money, because a lot of people have a change of heart midway through their college careers, or even after they get out of college, they just don't know. And having these experiences early on in life, like for me, I want to what I'm doing after high school is I'm going to college in Texas, and I'm studying sports broadcasting.
Oh, perfect.
Like, and I know that having like a business background is so important, because like, one thing I could pull away from today too is that every single thing you do, you always have business involved.
Absolutely.
And, to have this foundation early on, working with so many real world clients, and being able to apply it in like other things that I'm doing, like in particular, like doing a lot of sports photography, videography, doing a lot of internships in between. Being able to like do it every single day in the classroom just helps me as an individual like gain more knowledge and just be more knowledgeable in my field and what I'm doing, so that when I need to have the important conversations, or when I need to have the important or when I need to ask the important questions at the press conferences, at the big events, I have this foundation, and it's just so important to me to have, because nowhere else in the New York area, and even if I traveled anywhere else, would give me the idea of like being practical and not applying the theory of it like from a textbook. I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you were talking about internships there, and that's if people don't know that are listening to this, and there's going to be a lot of different people listening to this podcast over time. That's you giving your own time up to learn something, right? And that's correct. I'm saying that, was that right?
Can you repeat the question really quick? I'm sorry.
I said internships is you giving up your own time to learn something, to work in a business, in a company, on a project, but obviously with the ability to learn at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So for example, last summer, there was an internship opportunity in the area to work with a professional basketball trainer, who basically just worked at camps, all over the upstate New York area, which led me to doing photography for professional basketball players.
Perfect.
In particular, one kid who is from locally, but who's playing in Atlanta for the Atlanta Hawks. His name's Kevin Herter. I had the ability to shoot him over the summer.
Wow. Okay.
In Troy. It was just an outstanding opportunity. And, one thing I really pulled away today too is that you can't really just sit around and wait for somebody to,
no, you can't
go after you. Like, you have to ask.
Yes.
That was like a big theme, is you have to ask.
Yeah.
And, and connections is really important too. And I knew a guy who knew another guy and so on.
Yeah.
That got me this internship.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I put that on my college application and I showed to colleges like, hey, look, I have a foundation in business.
Yeah.
I've done tons of work at LaSalle with business, but I've also branched off and I've been able to alleviate funds at home,
yeah.
Help my family out, help myself out,
yeah.
help my college tuition out. So really having internships has been really a really important process, and having a foundation in business has allowed me to do that.
Yeah, superb. I mean, I love your drive and your enthusiasm and the willingness to go and put yourself out there and make it happen. As I sort of said to Karen a little while ago about social media, listen, it's all of these different tools that we have now has made it easier to become an entrepreneur, to set a business up, but it also makes it easier for other people to do it as well. So you've got pros and cons to it, but you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to push yourself forward, and you've got to make people, put yourself in front of people. And by the sounds of it, that's very much what you are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Social media is everything. I mean, you see so many people that are just become influencers. They don't really have like a general theme of what they're doing. They're literally just influencers
Absolutely.
in brands and clothing. And,
yeah.
You don't get that without social media. And like, I probably haven't gotten half of the jobs and internships that I've gotten from if it wasn't for social media. I mean,
sure.
Social media gives me the tools and the ability to, showcase my work and show everybody what I can do.
Yeah.
And allows other people to share it. And, again comes the theory of a guy knows another guy who knows another guy,
yeah,
which leads to more jobs. And
well, your audience is that much bigger, with that, when you don't have to go anywhere, to be honest, do you?
I mean, like when one guy shares a thing on their story, it just hits so many people.
Of course.
And then that guy shares it on his story, and it's just, I mean, like, we wouldn't be where we're at in this time period if it wasn't for social media, because it's literally changed the entire world.
Definitely. Well, so how long have you got left at LaSalle then? I mean, how many more years have you got there?
So I'm actually graduating in May, so I'll be done in May, and then I'll go to college in August.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Well, listen, I wish you all the best of luck. By the sounds of it, you don't need that luck. You make your own luck, as I like to say. And I think you definitely do. And you're definitely making your own luck and making your sort of forging your path, aren't you?
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. People like you really help our program grow, and I'll just do anything to help out. And it's been a great day, and thank you so much for having me on.
No, you're very welcome. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck in May, and good luck moving forward in your life, mate. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. If you pass this back to Michael or Mike, that'd be great.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, take care. Thanks very much, Jake.
Bye-bye. So
that was Jake Martino at the LaSalle Institute. So we're going to go back over to Mike Levy now, have a quick chat with him and see if there's anybody else he wants us to have a chat with while we're there.
No, actually, we've had everybody that we
got lined up,
could have spoken to, that lined up, and it went really well. One of the companies that was here, Lajabu 7, their person actually got here late because his flight out of Atlanta was canceled yesterday.
Oh, right.
And so he came in, and our kids were doing designs for their hats.
Okay.
That they sell, and they just told the student that had the winning design, which is now going to be produced and sold on their website.
Oh, perfect.
And I guess this young man's going to get a portion of the profits from it.
Yeah, nice.
So the winning design was going to have that, and then the second and third place would have been hats produced that he could have give away to friends, kind of thing.
Yep.
And this boy that won it, his name is Jason Friedis. The boy that won it, without Lajabu 7 knowing who the designers were, took all 3 prizes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. He's clearly got a future in design then. I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah. And to see the smile on his face and how excited he was just amazing.
Well, what was his name again?
Jason Freitas.
Jason Freitas. Keep that. People that are listening to this or watching this, make sure you watch this name for future designer. Interesting, very interesting. I look forward to getting some pictures on that, and anything you've got that you can sort of furnish us with, that we can put some posts out and things over the coming weeks.
Yep.
Then we'll definitely do that between us.
James just took a picture of Leon and Jason together, so I'm sure he'll get that picture out to you real quick.
Yeah, perfect, great stuff. Well, listen, thanks very much for sort of getting us to do this podcast and having and us getting to know you, Mike. I know that we're going to be, trying to do some stuff together, we're going to do some stuff moving forward, and going to keep in touch with what you guys are doing there. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I think we should at least stay in touch once a month so that we can. Because we now have to start building for the next GBEI. So.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, without a doubt. We'll touch base once a month, and we'll do a podcast between us. And
one of these days, we're actually going to meet personally.
We definitely will. I need an excuse to come to New York anyway. To be honest, even if I've got to travel 3 hours on the train away from New York to come and see you guys, that seems like I can't think of a better reason to come away from New York after getting there.
That's right. Well, you know what? You'll have to do the podcast live.
Yeah.
From us next year when we do it again.
We'll do that. We'll sort that out. It's going to be put in the diary. Don't worry about that.
All righty then.
Great stuff. Well, listen, thanks very much for that, and I wish you all the luck for the rest of the day. And no doubt you and I will touch base anyway. Thanks again to Michael Levy at LaSalle Institute, James Phillips from WJP Group, Karen Slater from Inspire Me Travel, and Jake Martino, who came on as a student, and looking forward to seeing what he does with the future and his sports presenting. Was that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. And what was the designer's name again? What was his name? Sorry, I forgot. I didn't write that down.
His name was Jason Freitas.
Jason Freitas, and congratulations to Jason Freitas on winning first, second, and third prize for getting caps. So these, I'll take it, they're baseball caps, are they, Mike?
Yeah, they're baseball caps that Lajabu makes, and they're really cool.
Cool.
When you see the designs, you'll be blown away by it.
Great stuff. I shall definitely be checking those out, and we'll have to order one, won't we? Be rude not to.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to buy one. Actually, I better get one for free.
Great stuff. Well, thanks very much again. All the way from LaSalle Institute in Troy, just 3 hours away from New York on the train. So how long is that a drive then, Mike?
It's a 3-hour drive.
Oh, it's a 3-hour drive, is it? Okay. So 3 hours from New York.
Yeah, we're 142 miles from New York City.
Okay, so not really New York, but it's close enough for the purpose of the rest of the world and listening to this and seeing this.
Right.
But yeah, thanks very much. Good luck with the Global Business Education Initiative. If anybody wants to know more about this and wants to know how you can get this into your school or students, or just find out more or support the cause, then there will be some links around this video, around the podcast, and if not, get in contact with me here at Essex Business Radio, available on at all good app stores and podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and social media. Where can people find out more about the Global Business Education Initiative, Mike?
They can find it by going on to the LaSalle website as soon as we get it up on the website.
Okay.
Which is lasalleinstitute.org.
Okay.
Or they can just contact me through LaSalle, and my email, which is mlevy@lasalleinstitute.org.
Perfect. Great stuff.
I would love to talk to other schools about starting a collaborative process.
Definitely.
So that we can spread this program throughout the world.
Definitely, without a doubt, and we're going to be pushing that. We'll make sure those links are available as well in the next couple of days when this goes live. Great. Thanks very much again, Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you all there, doing our transatlantic chat with you guys, and I wish you the best for the rest of the day.
Thank you, and you too.
All right, thanks very much. Okay, so it's Elliot Brown signing off for here at Essex Business Radio, and I was live with LaSalle Institute over in Troy, New York. Ciao for now. Brown cow.
You've been listening to Essex Business Radio with your host, Elliot.